Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to Paisano's Music and Vinyl Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, Genevieve.
No.
Team Paisano in full force. Talking about Van Halen and the debut. Now, really, people, where do I start? Like I said, in one of the Van Halen videos that I did, there's been several, but this is where it all started. There have been three revolutionaries in rock guitar. The first was Chuck Berry, the second was Jimi Hendrix, and the third, and probably the last, Mr. Edward Van Halen. When this came out in 1978, it was a revolution. It was unlike anything that had been heard before, and rock was never going to be the same again. That's what a turning point the release of this album was. When the needle got dropped on this puppy in 1978, it was like, wow, this is something new. And I've been reading a bunch of reviews, and a lot of them even go so far as to say these songs are great despite the mediocrity of Michael Anthony on bass and Eddie's brother Alex on drums. Now, neither one of them are earth-shattering musicians like Eddie Van Halen, but they were better than this reviewer was talking about. And let me tell you something about the choruses on this album. I read another one that said, you know, these songs, even without Eddie Van Halen, just on the choruses alone, would have done very well in the rock world. Some of the choruses on these songs are top shelf. And David Lee Roth singing on top of the whole kit and caboodle. Wow. What a band. What a band. And like I said, it came out in 1978, produced by Ted Templeman, and it sounds really good. I got this record in the mid-'80s. Played very, very well. No skips, no jumps, no scratches, nothing like that. But the track listing on the album is not the real running order. Before we get to that, let's talk about subscriptions.
Oh boy.
If you're new to the channel, welcome. We talk about
rock and roll.
Always have, always will. And if you're watching for some time and you're not yet subscribed,
And just get out. We
Yeah.
don't like you anymore.
leave.
Bye.
I don't need you.
Don't like you.
I really don't need. I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody. Throw a little tantrum.
I'm
on
sure
the
the
channel.
viewers would love that.
Yeah. But I really don't. I mean, who am I doing this for, really, at this point? Okay. We got a long way to go, too. You ain't getting rid of Paisano that quickly. No. After the vinyl, we are going to get into the CDs and then the cassettes. Can you believe that? I knew I didn't throw that stuff away for a reason. And this is the reason. Everybody's like, you still have that junk? Especially the cassettes. Yes, I still have that junk. And I'm proud to own that junk. That being said, let's get to the track listing I promised you. I got to read it directly from the album because, like I said, it does not read properly on the cover. Starts with Running with the Devil. Running with the Devil. No G. Now, that's a great way to start this. I'm serious. It was a wake-up call that things were never going to be the same. Followed by Eruption. Now, Eruption, all 1 minute and 42 seconds of it, is a revolution unto itself. And it really wasn't a song that they planned on putting on the album. Ted Templeman just convinced Eddie Van Halen to do that thing he was screwing around with in the studio. And they put it down, and it's played on every rock and roll station from coast to coast every single day. Eruption by Eddie Van Halen. Wow. Still to this day, it sounds phenomenal. Followed by the cover of the Kinks' You Really Got Me. Now, from what I understand, these guys really weren't Kinks fans, but the riff is just so undeniably rock and roll. The Kinks obviously were a British rock band that kind of came over at the same time as the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Animals and all those guys, and had a harder rock sound, a distorted rock sound. And they lasted into the 70s and the 80s and put out quality music throughout. But like I said, I don't think these guys were particularly Kinks fans, but that's an undeniable riff. You really got me. That's a way to get the crowd going. That's followed by Ain't Talking About Love. Ain't Talking About Love, which is a Van Halen classic. I'm the One, another Van Halen classic. Finishes out side one. Side two, Jamie's Crying. Come on. We're on overload here for Van Halen classics. Atomic Punk, which is one you don't hear on the radio, but good song. Feel Your Love Tonight, classic Van Halen. Little Dreamer. Ice Cream Man, another classic. And On Fire. That's a revolution, ladies and gentlemen. You got the shots of the band. That's David Lee Roth there, doing some acrobatics. He's still touring today with the band playing Van Halen songs, believe it or not. And his voice is definitely not what it once was. Not that it was ever the greatest rock voice, but he was the most obnoxious, over-the-top showman in a rock band that I can really think of. Articulate, conceited, obnoxious, show business. He was show business. He was right up there with the great frontmen of all time, followed by one of the greatest guitarists of all time, greatest rock guitarist. All right, people, tune in tomorrow night, and Genevieve will stick her hand in. There's a lot of space in this hat. It's only about 3 or 4 slips of paper left for the vinyl.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's going to be hard work, but I think she's up to it. It's going to draw in another album for a review. And that review will come, are we going to be into May? It'll be like May 3rd, I think, right? Next time.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, May the 3rd. Ay, 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 where is the time going?
It's cold.
Oh, cold, yeah. So until tomorrow night, you two, thank you, and good night.
Bye.